Buenos días, clase. O buenas tardes. ¿Quién me falta? Todos! Qué triste. Well, for today, we're going to be looking at the imperfect tense. One of my favorites. No kidding. Really one of my favorites. After surviving learning the preterite tense with all of its craziness, the imperfect tense is just so much nicer. And the beautiful thing about it is the imperfect tense has a much wider scope for why you use it versus the preterite, after how hard it is, really is more limited in scope. Also, a big shout out to, I heard a homeschool community is watching my videos and helping them learn their Spanish. Makes me so happy to hear that it's beyond my own students now that are getting some help. And a shout out to my son, who's the behind the scenes, makes the magic happen, you know, because I wouldn't know how to do this all by myself. So here we go. So the imperfect tense, and it is one of my favorites. On my Quizlet, again, that you can get off of my homepage at clinespanish.com. You can get to some practice exercises, and hopefully it'll help you be more proficient. Again, it's really one of my favorites. It's a very gentle tense in the past tense. And here we go. Alrighty. Okay, clase, el imperfecto, or the imperfect tense. Like I said, really one of my favorites. Very easy to conjugate this. So let's take a look. We already learned how to use the preterite tense to talk about, remember, completed actions in the past. Now we have the imperfect tense. You use the imperfect tense in the following ways. You're going to speak about a background event in a story, like a once upon a time. You're going to talk about something you used to do, something that was a habit or habitual, right? And then you're going to speak about physical characteristics, because in theory, that's not a point in time, right? Like the preterite. You're also going to use it to express thoughts and emotions. And you're going to use it to express time, age, and weather. So hopefully here you can already see how different this is compared to the preterite. This has a much broader scope, and it's easier to do too, which a plus. All right. So we're going to take a look at forming the imperfect of regular verbs. All right. So as you know, Spanish verbs end in 3 different ways: AR, ER, and IR. So my favorite is hablar and comer, and change things up. Woohoo! From vivir to salir, which means to exit or to leave. All right. So here we go. Here's what it looks like. I want you to take a note. The yo form is the same as the él, ella, usted form. All right. Also, take note that in the AR verb conjugations, there's an accent on the habamos. Habamos. I'm showing you the vosotros form just so that you have that information. Not required for you to know it in California, but just so that you can see it. All right. Notice ER verbs and IR verbs. It's a beautiful thing. They conjugate the same way, and they have accents all the way through. So here we have AR verbs only having an accent in the nosotros, and then ER and IR having accents all the way through. Very, very fun verb. Just look at this. Hablábamos. I mean, it's just kind of fun to say. All right. Okay, so the following examples are using the imperfect because they are describing a continuing action in the past. So, los estudiantes hacían la tarea todos los días. So the students did their homework every day. Of course you did. All right. The students did or used to do homework every day. Don Fernando trabajaba En el banco todos los sábados. So we're saying he used to work at the bank every Saturday. It was a repeated activity, a repeated action. Mi abuelo siempre. When you see siempre, that's a good clue too. That tells you this is using the imperfect tense because that means always. So therefore, my grandfather always used to tell funny jokes or funny stories. And then common trigger words. This is really important. If you're taking notes, if you're writing stuff down, something important to know. And I like to call them trigger words. You see these words in a sentence, you know you're dealing with the imperfect tense. So what are they? So as I pointed out before, siempre means always. If you see a menudo, por lo general, which is generally, usualmente, take a guess on that one, usually. Algunas veces, sometimes. A veces, at times. Or todos los días, okay, every day. If you see something like this in a sentence, you know you have the imperfect tense that you're working with versus the preterite. Okay, the beautiful thing after surviving the preterite tense is the imperfect tense only has 3 irregulars. Yes, you heard me correctly, only 3 irregulars. The 3 verbs are ser, ir, and ver. So that's it. So ser goes to era, eras, era, éramos, erais, and eran. Again, I am showing you the vosotros tense here. You do not need to know it. Also, the yo form and the ella usted form is still the same. Check out id. So id is iba, ibas, iba, íbamos, ibais, and iban. Notice that sed and id have accents in the nosotros form. Ver is your real rebel here. Yes, your yo form and your ella usted form are still the same. All right, veía, veías, veía, veíamos, and veíais, and veían. But you have an accent that goes all the way through. So it even is irregular within the irregulars having the accent all the way through. But I think we can deal with this. Survive the preterite, we can definitely survive only having 3 irregular verbs. All right. So let's do a little practice. And notice we've got that keyword there. Yo siempre, always. Yo siempre, my verb is jugar. We're stuffed animals. All right. So let me give you a moment. So if it's the yo form and it's jugar, what's it going to be? If you said jugaba, you got it. Nosotros, okay, we're talking about age, all right? And the verb tener, to have, to possess, right? So nosotros and tener. Let me give you a moment. If you said teníamos, you got it. Good job. All right, now we're talking about time. Here's the verb ser. Now be careful. Is this one of the irregulars? Let's see if you can get this one. If you said eran, you got it. Okay, be careful that you didn't say era. This is plural. The only way this could be era if it was la una. All right, so be careful with that one. Okay, mi hermana nunca. My sister never would chop or cut or whatever the trees, okay? All right, so if it's my sister, that would be ella form. So what are you going to do with trepar? You know it's a regular verb because it's not one of the 3 regulars. So what are you going to do? If you said trepaba, fabulous. All right, mis hermanitos, my little brothers or my little siblings always se blank malos en el centro comercial. Oh, shame, shame. It says they always behave poorly when they go out to the mall, when they go out shopping. So if it's mis hermanitos, what form is that? Probably ellos, right? So ellos form with portar. So what's that going to be? If you said portaban, you got it. All right. Cuando yo era niño, when I was a child, all right, yo blank a la España con mis padres todos los veranos. So when I was a child, I went to Spain with my parents every summer, a habitual repeated action. So therefore, ir, be careful, what kind of verb is that? Is it irregular? So what are you going to do? Yo form with ir. Iba. If you got iba, you nailed it. Okay, last one. Let's take a look. Mis hermanos, all right, or mis amigos, sorry. Mis amigos, all right, so my friends. And then we have salir, all right. So mis amigos, salir. And then we have a las discotecas cuando eran más jóvenes. So they went to the clubs when they were younger, all right. Woohoo, they had a good time. All right. So we have salir and mis amigos, that would be ellos form. So therefore, what would it be? If you said salían, you nailed it. Notice again what an easy tense this is, all right? Only 3 regulars. Remember in your AR verbs, it's habamos in the nosotros form. And then ER and IR verbs conjugate the same way for the regular verbs, all right, with an accent all the way through. Remember, you only have 3 regular verbs, right? So ser, ir, and ver. Just be aware of those and you're set. All right. Thank you. And I'm going to say goodbye for now. Adios, clase. Hasta pronto.